Hello, I'm Jennifer Witt, Director of ProjectManager.com. Well, welcome to our whiteboard session today on the top 10 things that derail project managers, that ultimately derail projects. So I see a lot of people struggling with a lot of things, so formalize the top 10. Number one, I think it's more important to realize that just understanding the concepts, the principles, the techniques of managing projects is, we believe, table stakes. So these are the top 10 things that of those we think derail the project manager. So number one is terms. Understanding the difference between terms. Nothing causes more chaos on a project than project managers, team members, stakeholders, everyone using terms incorrectly. Many times on the whiteboard sessions, you'll see me start with a term and suggesting that one go to a certain resource or even Google the term to know what the proper meaning of the term is. So a lot of times some areas that people get confused and they throw around the terms meaning different things is the project plan versus the work breakdown structure versus the schedule. So if one is confused about those, you can again use some of the common project management resources or just Google that to see what it means. But the project management plan is the whole game plan for the project, how the project is going to be run, the purpose of it, the stakeholders, the budget, the processes for all the knowledge areas of how the project will be run. The work breakdown structure is literally a graphical picture of the work components or the deliverables that are going to be produced as a result of the project. And then the schedule is taking that and looking at the dependencies and the estimates and building out a timeline for the project. So again, being able to Google those terms and use them properly will benefit the project a lot. Number two, being able to create a deliverables diagram. The deliverables diagram and identifying the difference between a deliverable or a product versus the tasks that are required in order to produce that deliverable. Number three, the lifeline. I love this one. I have my lifelines and I have multiple ones, and that's knowing who to call in what situations for what. It's those people who that when you know nothing else, you throw out that you call your lifeline to help you in certain situations. That may be a mentor in some cases, a mentor of someone who has been there, done that, something that maybe you haven't done. A colleague is someone who is your peer, your colleague who maybe has experienced a certain thing on the project that may have additional tips, tools, techniques, or approaches that might help. Or maybe some resources. It may be a book, it may be a video, it may be Google, it may be the internet. So knowing where your lifeline is, so when you need it the most, you can call on the lifeline. Number four is levels. Knowing the difference between high level and low level, not in people, but in like high level information versus low level or detail information, because a lot of times we see reports or information distributed, everything goes to everyone, and the most effective thing is knowing that the executives or the stakeholders or the change control board needs different information than the project team members or maybe some of the vendor partners. So knowing how to, what high level means and what low level means or what level of detail, and that really depends on, again, the different groups you're tailoring and customizing that information for. Number five are meetings, being able to facilitate efficiently and effectively meetings so that the right people are invited at the right time to the right meetings, they're prepared, they know why they're coming or the purpose of the meeting, and that you and the people who attend leave the meeting with the information or the deliverables that they need in order to make decisions or do certain things on the project. Number six is bottlenecks. The project manager a lot of times becomes the bottleneck of the project. Not because they mean to, but a lot of times project managers are trying to do too many things at once, and all the information is coming in for them for some kind of approval, dissemination. So it's important for project managers to be able to delegate appropriately, get work off your plate so that you can focus on the specific things on the project that you need to do the most. Number 7 has to do with chaos or discord, knowing the calming the storm versus fueling the storm. When chaos occurs or tension, or maybe you're in a meeting, and because there are some areas or issues that have to be discussed, and it may not be apparent what the right path is for that issue. So sometimes you have to get the team, like if there's a real hot issue or something that's being debated, sometimes it's important to calm the storm, just get everyone calmed down, because stress in some cases doesn't help. But sometimes it does help. Sometimes you have to know how to fuel that storm and that discord to get certain information out, the facts, and really look at a situation to see what is the best alternative for something. Number 8 is the facts. If a project manager is working with misinformation or incorrect information, or maybe they are being provided information from one side, maybe their team or the customer, some vendor partner, it's not helpful, and so they make decisions based on the wrong information. So it's important to know the facts, and the project manager be the non-biased party, because the project manager is the hub of the project where a lot of information is coming in from all sides. So it's important to be non-biased and look at things from all perspectives. Number 9 is placement. If a project manager is the last one to know, or they're always running behind everyone else, that is not a good placement. The project manager always needs to be one step ahead of everyone, one step ahead of the stakeholders, the change control board, all the team members, is knowing more. The project manager does not want to be in the position where they are the last ones to know. And number 10, it has to do with courage. Many times project managers are in situations that are not very pleasant, and they have to stand their ground. If you do know the facts and you have gathered information and you know what the right thing is for the project, it takes courage to actually stand. You may be standing, maybe either standing with your team, or you may be standing against your team. You may be standing against the stakeholders. So a lot of times having the courage to take the stand, to hold your ground, is important. So we found that these are the top 10 things that can derail a project manager, and maybe some items that may be able to help. If you need a tool that can help prevent derailing your project, then sign up for our software now at projectmanager.com.